Welcome back to the 95 Trucking Podcast, the podcast for truck drivers, investors, truck owners, and anyone interested in the trucking industry. Today we have a great episode. We're bringing an episode. It's called From Prison to Pavement, and we're speaking on how former inmates are navigating the trucking industry. I have two guests with me, two new guests, and I want to welcome Majin Boo to the panelists. Welcome.
Thank you.
And we have Jonathan Liz. We have
Yes,
Jonathan
sir.
Liz here. And then we have two very special guests. We have Bugsy and we have So. So we're going to let them introduce themselves. Who wants to start first? So.
I'll go.
All right. So tell us a little bit about you.
My name is Sosa. I was incarcerated for maybe about 4 years, and during my journey, I always heard of truckers, people with their CDLs, talking about how lucrative it was, how if you got it, how it was life altering. You can potentially tap into some different avenues. So it's something that I put on my to-do list. Like, I wanted to make sure that it was something that I accomplished before I came home. So I just got right to it. I started setting affirmations, putting stuff on billboards, writing things down. I'm more of a visual learner opposed to being an audio learner, so I had to see these things. Came home, it was some hurdles. I failed twice. I told myself that if I had the opportunity to pass this road test, that I would never give up on anything else. I fought. I finally passed, and I became an entrepreneur. I got in, and I seen how trucking had its I seen the fruits of the labor, and I seen some challenges, some large, difficult overheads. I seen some, I seen a lot of things, and I'm grateful for this opportunity.
Yes, and
Excellent,
we're excited to listen to your story and know your story. Bugsy, introduce yourself.
My name is Bugsy. I did 10 years. I learned a lot from, my friends, partners. I learned a lot on the phone about the trucking industry, before I came home. So I was getting real-time updates, I will be on the phone while loads are being booked, while real-time situations are happening. I'm taking notes while I'm there, like he was saying. I learned a little bit different, as well. So I saw that I saw the challenges firsthand. I would sit down and come up with my own plan and to see if it would work. Some worked, some didn't. Like any business. I came home and it was it was a little difficult, but I came home to the fire, and I had to get right to it. We had to get right to it. So, I started to I got more on the job. Now I got more on the job training, but I didn't come home to get a CDL. So, I came home a little bit different. Like, a lot of people come home and they're the actual driver. I learned more on the logistics side, Suhei taught me a lot, on that part. I would learn from Sos, a lot of the driver's input, a lot of the, how they feel, what they go through, so I was getting both worlds, from the owner's perspective to owner operator's perspective, to just the driver's perspective, and then to come home and start dealing with the actual brokers direct and, stuff like that, and building those relationships, you start to, you get a little bit of everything. It gets overwhelming, of course, you can't, you have to be dedicated to it. You can't click over when someone else is calling you. It could be your mom, it could be your sister, it could be whoever, you're on the phone. You know, they run it. So
You're doing business, yeah.
you're doing business. So
Nothing
it's
for
like,
granted.
Yeah, you can't take nothing for granted. So, you know, like I said, like round one was challenging. Round one was eventful. It was a lot of ups and downs. I did see the greatness in it in the business, you know. But again, like there's little room for mistake, like, you know, and a mistake could really, like, you know, cripple you.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that we did learn, like, you know what I'm saying, and you know, people like us, like, you know, coming from where we come from, like it gets a little. It's a little hard to not try to bend corners when we used to bending corners and you know,
Lifestyle.
the lifestyles, like trying not to, like, you know, trying to do things the right way, as opposed to, you know, that you can, you know,
Fast lane.
you can fast lane. It's like, oh, this is
Fast
easy
track.
pass, like, you know what I mean? Let's go pay for this easy pass. Like, we tried that, it didn't work for us, you know, like, you know,
Never really ends
You know
well.
what I'm saying? It don't end well.
At
Like,
all.
you know what I'm saying? You try to avoid, and you end up paying with more than what you would have paid if you really got the real easy pass. Like, you know, it works for some people. For us, it just didn't work. Like, you know, running just certain things that you do, like, you just try to cut the corners. It's expensive to do it the right way. That's the problem.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm
Expensive.
saying?
It takes longer.
It takes longer.
Most people don't
But
want to go
it's
through
a
that
marathon.
journey.
It ain't a sprint.
Yeah.
So you just have to have the patience to, you know, do what you have to do it the right way, like, you know, and believe that your work is gonna show, you know, in your pockets, in your bank account.
Yeah, but the good thing is you're here already. You're in the industry, and we're gonna keep trying.
Yeah.
Right.
We gotta keep
trying.
going. It is what it is.
Absolutely.
This is the business up and down. This is the business. One day is a lot of work. One day is not.
It's late.
Yeah. And we have to keep going. It is what it is. I got
Absolutely.
20 years in this, and let me tell you this: everything, but it's never easy. It's always is something happen here.
Yeah, always something. Majin Buu, what's your background on trucking? Please introduce yourself.
Well, yeah. My name is Majin Buu, and I'm 9 years in. And I've literally, you could probably say that all my time I've done it in the waste industry. I do municipal solid waste from the city, New York. So I've never been to no Pennsylvania landfill. It sounds messed up, right? Because let me try. I've just kept my lane, and you could literally say I have a dedicated lane,
Nice.
to Seneca. They'll say, Seneca, you're one of the crazy guys. Well, I guess I'm one of the crazy guys because I'm still going. I'm there. You know, I'm a driver. And I know the insights. And literally, that's what I've always done.
Okay.
So it's overweight, municipal solid waste, and 9 years in, I got a lot. Let's say I have some experience because you never stop learning
Right.
from people. You know, everybody has something different to say. You got 10 years of experience, 20 years of experience. I might come with 3 years of experience, but I've read a whole, I don't know what book, and I tell you this, or I'm talking to somebody, and, you know, you eavesdrop, you say, oh, did you say this? I said, yeah. They say, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, well, yeah, you can find that information in such place.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I didn't know that. And I've been here for I don't know how long. Well, you learn something new every day.
Yeah.
You know?
That's why, like, things like this are important, because once you're in an industry, you really don't, you know, you learn so much as you go. And, like, yeah, you can sit there. Like, this is not something that you can learn on the books. Like, you got to learn with experience.
Experience. And I heard Bugsy say that, I don't know if he drives.
No.
Okay. So it'll be a good thing that one day you drive, or at least get in the truck. I tell you that
To get that
from a
experience.
driver
Get that
perspective.
experience.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you get in the truck with your driver one day that he's gonna do a round trip. You know, you're gonna be within the 10-hour limit. You know you're gonna come back home that day. You get with him and you see trials and tribulation, and you're gonna think different. Trust me, you're gonna think different because
It's not easy.
when you're in the truck, it's totally different than you seeing the truck run. You know, I have a quick one, small one. My aunt, I used to talk with my aunt a lot, and you know the deal of fighting the traffic, this, that. You know, the mother, you son, what are you doing? You know, and I invited her one day. She says, "Oh, my son, well, why are you always talking like this?" I says, "Well, you don't understand. Was a truck loaded? You know, we don't break that easily. People just cut you, brake check you. So I invited her one day. First thing she said, I can't see. Immediately, as soon as she said, oh, I can't see, I said, how can you see? I drive a W900. So you could already imagine. She said, oh, I can't see. I said, okay. So look at, you see that car right there? Where? Boom, 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 boom. Look, there's a car right there. Oh, I didn't see him. Exactly. That's what happens. Those blind spots.
In that blind spot. Very
Terrible.
important.
And
Yes.
it's better partners when the people from the office you deal every day used to know how the street is.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's better because they understand you
Of-
with the
of
situation
course.
you are, you know?
Yeah.
And that's really good to work with people.
Yes, absolutely. When people that have driven is excellent.
So
Even the old lady, excuse me, even the old lady. If taking the old lady, let's go for a week. When I tell her I'm tired, zip. You understand? Because she knows. Oh, you just drive. Yeah, okay, come on, let's go. You just sit there then.
right, you got to be understanding. So guys, in terms of the trucking industry, do you feel like it was glamorized while you guys were behind the bars? Like, what was the expectation versus the reality for you guys? Like, what was that experience like?
You want to go first or me? I'll go. I had, two of my friends. I seen them, buying, $500,000 houses. I seen, these guys, getting married, getting, nice cars and.
American dream.
Yeah, I seen, and I knew that they had their CDLs. Like I had mine since 2018. Like I'm about 7 years in, and they probably had theirs maybe at least 6 to 8 years before that. So they had a long run. Prison was a revolving door for me while they had longevity out here in the streets, 10 years, 15 years. So, they was able to establish some of these things, and so that's what kind of motivated me. So when the summertime came and those all white parties came, my buddies used to be like, oh, Sos, you want to come down and practice on the truck? And that was the sacrifice that I made. It was a big sacrifice knowing that, I'm born in the summer, I be wanting to be a part of those festivities. So, while my friends are out and they got the linen on and they at these day parties, I had to be down there in them yards, alley docking and offsetting and, doing all the maneuvers just to make sure that when the opportunity came again, that I'll be able to pass, that I'll be ready. So I seen that part when I got in as a driver, and then, you become this owner operator or this owner. Trying to do both sides, trying to drive and do the logistics side is very hard because you got to be on the road. Those tires got to be moving for you to make the revenue. And, seeing loads. You can't drive and actually catch all the good loads at the same time. So, I learned that everybody needs help. You got guys that's loners, women that's loners that be thinking that they can do it all on their own. But I feel like everybody needs some assistance. So that was like my growing pain in trucking. Like, all right, listen, you can't do it all on your own. Yeah, you ran down some goals. You ran down 2 trucks. Cool. But you still need like a sturdy team that everybody's
delegate.
on the same, you need to be able to delegate some of these projects and these responsibilities because it could become overwhelming. Like you'll get some gray hairs that you wasn't expecting. Like this trucking can be real. It can be mean. So
Yeah,
Take off some of the stress, pass it on to somebody else.
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
A learning curve for me.
I feel like you got your different kinds of people, right? So you might hear from somebody like they're gonna put 1,000 on it. Let's just say so they gonna tell like, yeah, like I got this, I got my CDLs, man. I'm making $15,000 a week. I'm making $10,000. I'm making they're throwing all these numbers to you, but they're not giving you the
Real.
details and
The sacrifice.
yeah, you're not knowing. You're not knowing
What it entails.
What it entails until you actually get there and you be like, wait,
They
you
ain't tell
said
me
this,
this.
that, and the third. Like, yo, you getting this, but why is they saying $150 or $200? Like, or why is they, is, or he didn't mention that fuel is this much, or that, insurance is this, and, this is that, and you got to pay for these miles, and you got to, it's a lot that go with it. Like,
The operation cost.
exactly, it's operation costs. Like any other business, is overhead, right? It's your
Yeah.
overhead. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
and you got to do good math, but some people just don't do math. They just look at what they make. They don't even care what they spend.
They don't even know where they
They don't
stand.
even know what there's, they're in the red, and they think they're living life.
Yeah.
But you're in the red. You're losing.
Yeah.
Like, but you're partying, and you're just, you got all these bills, and to the naked eye, it looks like you're doing great. But you're really not. It's smoke and mirrors. Relax.
Smoke and
So I think that with anything, I think that not to discourage anybody to say like, oh, it's not what you think it is. No, it is what you think. It's just not as easy as some people might put it. You actually have to do the work.
Yeah. You're
It's
not gonna
really
get rich overnight.
Yeah, it's not something that, like, that is just gonna you're just gonna invest in the business and just go to sleep somewhere, go somewhere, and then you're gonna turn around and every day you're just gonna be getting money.
It's not a sprint, it's a
Like,
marathon.
you turn your back for 1 second, you can lose everything and be in
Discipline
debt.
has to be at its high.
Definitely.
That is exactly. You have to be
100%.
like, and going back to like what you said, like, like I've never drove the whole hours, with the driver, but I was really involved with the drivers. So whereas I'm always answering their phone, it could be 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning. Like, I'll stay on the phone with them if they're tired. Like, like I understand when the frustration, I'm getting those frustrated calls. Like, I understand the traffic thing when we're like, yo, how far are you? Where are you at? Like, I know you're in a big truck and you can't jump over these trucks. So my 30 minutes is not your 30 minutes. That I understood.
Yeah.
Like, I was very sympathetic to the drivers because, like
Excellent.
I said, the majority of my friends were drivers.
I congratulate you
Like,
for that.
so I got, even with the ones that wasn't working with me, like, that just, like, like, other people, like, I would know they was giving me the real.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
struggles, the
Yeah, you would
everything.
you would come back to him or her or whoever the case might have been, and on the this driver told me this. It was like, it could be like that,
Yeah.
because this happened to me.
Absolutely.
Or I was just talking to somebody and they told me this and that.
Absolutely.
And then you also got to feel the fire from the customer too, like them
Right.
being super demanding, making sure, like calling you off the hook,
Right.
putting pressure on you.
So I gotta find a balance.
Yeah.
Like you said, like the customer's calling, where the hell is he at? You told me to, you know what I'm saying?
So you got to learn how to transform that
Right.
and not give it to the
Because
driver.
the thing is, as we dealing with the logistics and we in the, we doing the back office work, you figure you have to lie. It's times when you have to lie, right?
Yeah.
So you have to say, oh, yeah, he's 15 minutes, he's 24 minutes away, but you tell him he's 15 minutes away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then when the 15 minutes come, like, he's there, but he can't, like,
Yeah,
they're not letting him in
traffic.
through here.
Yeah.
Like, what does he have to, you know
You
what I mean?
gotta
Like, you
stretch the
start
truth
to,
a little bit.
you start to, like, talk to them, so now they ease up a little bit because, like, oh, he's here, even though he's pulling up. He's not even there yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a song.
But you
in
know your
Spanish.
driver. You know your driver's going to, like, they work with you. Like, they know, but, like, look, I'm right here. I just got to go around this way, and I'll be right there. So you tell him, like, he's there already. Like,
you
they're
know who
telling
you
him
can
he-
trust or not,
yeah.
because
Some drivers
people-
will tell you things that they're not, it's both worlds. But for the most part, like, we had a pretty good team, and,
Yeah.
we was able to get a lot done. Like, we was able to get a lot done. Some brokers are more understanding than others, of course, but like I
Yeah.
said, yeah, it's
It's part of the game.
Yeah.
Any challenges you guys kind of like met, like entering the industry, like any discrimination, background checks, like anything that you feel like was like excess, or that you felt like it was like a lot, just because they knew maybe that your background or anything like that, or working with certain companies?
I definitely experienced hurdles in regards to background. Like I said, I'm so accustomed to some of these companies going maybe about 7 years back to kind of research your history and stuff. So I just recently probably had a situation where a company did a background check, and they went all the way back to 2012, 2011. And I'm looking like that. Well, I've been home for 10 years. I've been a part of numerous companies. I done had my own company. I done had trucks of my own. And, like, I just was so surprised that, I'm rehabilitated I done changed my whole life, and
You're
still I'm being haunted. Like, a therapist told me recently that it's reliving your traumas all over again. So I just felt like, dang, I'm still being
that happened to me last
hindered
week.
by something that I done been rehabilitated for. I done served my time. I done, came home, done flew straight, done did everything that I was supposed to do, done walked down all the goals that I done set in front of me, and still it's something that's in my way of
Shit's just
moving
come
forward.
back.
It's just, I say this to all the truckers, anybody that's in this game, and even people that's not in this trucking thing, this thing of ours right here, is that you can never give up. You know what I'm saying? You can never stop. You get knocked down 10 times, you got to get up you got to just keep going. You got to stay down until you come up. And that's
Come
just
back up.
that's just my mentality. And trucking is, trucking can be like a drug game, like a block or something where it could be slow one day and it's lucrative. The season's coming. It might be the oranges. It might be, it could be apples. It could be any product that any of those dried goods, or depending on what market you in, all you need is a season.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that illusion, like kind of like what you just said, compared it to the game, is what keeps people like engaged, or keeps people like in it?
I felt like it changed my life personally, and I was somebody that, it was always kind of hustling or trying to, get it the fast way. So I felt like trucking, I used to say it was the drug game on wheels. It might be exaggerated. It might be.
It technically
well,
is.
It might be. It
In a lot
might
of
be
different
exaggerated.
ways.
I'm
Yes.
not. But at some runs in that game, at some points in that game, you just be like, you know what? This week, like, I killed them. If this could keep going like this, like, it
Yeah.
get like that. So
Yeah.
And then the only difference
There's
is
something
you don't
happens
really
that
have
next
to
week.
watch. And then you might have a breakdown. The engine. Nah, I ain't gonna even speak that blasphemy into the world. But the tire, or a brake chamber, or something
Yeah.
ends up happening that.
Well, he ran
Gets
from me.
in the way.
He never came back. Let's say, I
Right.
was tired.
Yeah.
So that's really, really interesting. Anything you want to share on that topic? Challenges? Any setbacks?
I mean, me personally, I didn't have I was kind of blessed, so I didn't have to deal with the challenges of, of my record, because I didn't go into a situation whereas I had to go, apply for a job,
He came to work for Hall Run.
So that I didn't have to, they already knew my story, so I didn't have to go through that. And but one thing I do know, like I said, that was kind of one of the first times, that was one of the first times with Souls recently where they went through with the, with the background check and stuff, because I mean, let's be real, like the majority of the trucking business is founded on
felons.
criminals.
Yeah.
Like on criminology, like or on people with or people that came home and changed their life, with
moving
the
all the
business.
freight.
Like so,
Yeah.
there's really not that's not too many truckers that don't have a record. That's one of the jobs that you can actually. That's why, they push for you to get your CDLs.
So they push for it in prison?
Yeah,
I mean,
basically
some
they
guys.
give you the CDL. There's CDL books in every unit. It's
and
easy to get a
then
CDL book.
Yeah, because-
they got these programs when you come home, like DVR,
Right.
or one-stop
One-stop
career
career.
centers that
They pay
most
for
people don't. If you go there, like maybe the first 6 months that you home and tell them like, hey, I've been incarcerated. I
They gonna pay for
probably
school.
You don't even have to be incarcerated. You could just be.
Nah, you don't.
You
But
could-
it's that
but that'll
easy.
pay for
It's
school.
Like
easy.
most
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
come home from being incarcerated feeling like they don't have avenues. All they feel like is they got challenges.
Yeah.
They don't feel like they got opportunities. So there's opportunities where, like, all right, I can go over here. One Stop is going to pay the $5,000 for me to go to school. DVR move a little quicker than them. DVR is going to pay the $5,000 for me to go to school. All I got to do is go to school, learn the material, and then there I am, financial freedom.
Yeah.
I know it ain't that simple, but
It's
it
not.
is though.
It is, right.
So
And
You
before
definitely
you
have
even,
chances.
and before you even, like you said, while you in prison on your on your TV or or whatever the case may be, there's a channel that's just dedicated to the CDL test
Yeah,
and
CDL test.
and your driver's license test. Like so,
that's
that's there all day. Like
Yeah, so
like
it's
if
just
you- if
pre-programming.
It's just pre-programming. It just keeps repeating, and you just keep you can study it all day.
It's like that's a good point Los said earlier, that when he wanted to do anything, he was just write it, he would post it, take a picture of it, all of that.
If I could see it, I could do it.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. If I could
Exactly.
see it, if it's in front of me, I could read it, I could see it, I can do it. That's
That's a good approach to a lot of things.
I believe it.
I got my. I mean, they even give you your like. I got my my fork. I actually took I got a forklift license. Like I actually drove the forklift inside the prison.
right.
So I learned all of that. Like they teach you. They actually
Right,
it's a
they
lot
got
of things that
certifications.
you got.
Yeah,
certifications,
you could
a lot of
just-
certifications. The only thing is you can't get your CDLs in there.
Right.
But,
you come
you
pretty
you
much
come prepared.
Yeah, exactly.
You can come prepared to run the line. Like now that I know everything that I know now, you can actually while you're in prison, you can actually prepare yourself to run a warehouse.
Definitely.
Right.
And get
And
all
that's
the
where the money
certificates
is
and
at.
get all the certificates. Right. This is what I'm saying. Now that I know the money in the warehousing part of the logistics, like you can actually, they actually have every certificate that you need to run a warehouse in prison.
Yeah, but you have to have your mind right because inside is terrible.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's
Right.
easy to
But
it's easy
but
to
how
get
much-
distracted.
You do have to have your mind right, but how it's easier to get your mind right when you're in there being busy and studying and doing something with your time. Like it's already dead time, so you don't want it to be dead. You don't want it to be time to whereas it's just completely wasted because you're already wasting your time. It's time that you're never gonna get back.
No.
Like so like I said, I went to unfortunately I went to prison a lot. We both did. I went to prison a lot. This last time was the longest time that I did. But I never. Every time I went to prison, I made sure I came out with something, like something, so that I won't be like, damn, I just did 5 years, but I did this, that, and the third. I got this, so I can let me apply this, and it's people that just sit there and don't do anything and just really waste their time, but they do the same thing here.
Yeah, there's a lot of people sitting there and like thinking, "Oh my God," and all this stuff, and don't put the mind right to see what's the best they can do now,
Right.
what's the best they can change and stuff. But in that situation, it's gonna be hard to think right too, because now you inside a jail, you
Distractions.
know what to do. It's a lot of things.
A lot of things that
Family,
You have to
away
be
from
strong.
family. It's
hard.
kind of hard.
So, what's next for you guys in the trucking industry, and what would be your advice to people coming home, or people who may watch this while they're incarcerated?
Talk to any homeboy you know. You know what I mean? Talk to him. He'll see you. As soon as they see, Los on a podcast, everybody gonna look for Los. Talk to your friend, whoever homie his name is.
What's
My man,
next,
get your
and
mind
what's
right.
your
Yeah,
advice?
Yeah. Don't be
what's
afraid.
next? Just to keep going. Like I don't see myself kind of caving. I know people say that the trucking is, it's in a bad place right now. Like everybody got like a different opinion. For the guys that's incarcerated, like I just want to be in a position to kind of help them the way that I was helped. Like I said, I had people that had equipment that was sitting around for me to kind of practice if I really wanted it. That's for the guys that really want it.
That's after coming home. Right?
After coming home.
Let's say you had the PA for the whatever cell. What would you tell them?
Like, what would you tell the people that's incarcerated on their way
Uh,
out? That's what.
If you don't got your license, go get your license. Once you get your license, go get your CDLs. Go get your permit. Take the written test. Pass that, and I got some equipment if you need to learn how to drive. We could go get some cones. I'll take you to like open Walmart or something. Help you alley dock. Put the cones down. Help you offset. Help you do the maneuvers just to kind of get them a leg up. Most guys don't really got that opportunity to practice because the schools that these DVRs and these one-stop career centers are sending these people to only teach you enough to say that you passed, so you could go fail the test and come back and spend some money with school again. It's like recycling.
business.
Like it's a business. So I really want these guys to get it the first time, because I already know that the history keep repeating itself. They're not going to teach us what we really know. So do the legwork. Go get your CDL. Go get your permit. People like me, people like Sue, people like Bugs, we will help you. I'll help you practice, get the repetition that you need so you could pass the test, and you don't have to worry about putting the gasoline drawers on and getting back in the streets.
In other words,
you don't have to worry about that.
In other words, use the resources you guys have inside to come out with a
Absolutely.
higher percentage of
accomplishing your goal.
back on it.
Right.
Because it takes time, right?
Definitely.
So if you use your resources, when you come home, you're definitely going to have a higher percentage. Boom. Back on it. Making money right away. You're going to be caking.
It's a lot of people that don't know the resources are there. It's people that know that the resources are there, but they got so much low self-worth, or they feel like, it's still things that they can't accomplish. Like some people especially when you're coming back from being incarcerated, you coming back into society, things have sped up. You probably don't know, the technology, the phones are more difficult to deal with, the laptops, like you feeling like you got one hand still in the cuff. So, you need people. You need help. You need resources. I mean, that's the only way you're going to get ahead in this market. So,
if you had the PA Bugs, what would you tell them?
I would tell them. I would piggyback off of what you said. I would tell them that. Yeah, there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to get done. Learn everything you can, about everything that has to do with warehouse. Like, write it down, visualize it. Get all the certificates you can. That's gonna translate, to help you when you get out here. Like he said, we got equipment, that you can learn. Like, we can teach you how to dispatch. We got,
Let me find out you guys are chasing Brewster.
Huh?
Brewster. I know you shout out to Brewster, right? You know Brewster say?
Nah.
Yeah, Brewster, that's he's a good guy. I see he was incarcerated. He's from the streets to the suites.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I suggest you guys look him up. Shout out to him.
Okay.
And yeah, he's a good
look
guy.
him
Shout out to him.
Yeah, look him up. He was just like that, incarcerated. He decided to make a change for himself. He got the CDL. He started hot shotting.
Okay.
So he started hot shotting. So he got his boys into hot shot. He got tractor trailers and he got the whole nine, everything from streets to the suites.
Nice.
streets to the suites. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's awesome. And shout out to all the organizations and programs helping former inmates get into, trucking and helping them get back into society. We really,
Of course.
Definitely. We need
that's
that.
something that
We
is
need
very
that.
important. So that wraps up our episode for today. I want to thank all the panelists and all the guests for coming in today, and for the audience out there, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Make sure that you watch the whole episode. It gets good in the middle. Like, I know at first it starts shaky, but make sure you like, subscribe, and follow us on YouTube.
Don't forget to comment.
And don't forget to comment. Yes, please.
Leave your feedback.
Yes, for sure. And if anybody wants to reach out to you guys, do you guys want to share your contact information?
Social media.
I'm on Instagram. My name is Don Sosa on Instagram. You can hit me. I respond to all texts, all messages. I'm here. I'm always available.
My phone number is.
Okay, Mike Jones.
Nah, my Instagram is what's my Instagram? BugsyH93.
You put your business Instagram there on there too.
That is
Yeah.
it. That's my
Yeah,
business.
all right,
That's
all right.
everything.
My name is my business.
Right.
I am a brand.
Talk about it.
Trademark it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I get feedback, and like I said, I want us all to win. So there's enough money for everybody. Trust
Absolutely.
me.
Amen. And that's what we'll wrap up with. There's enough money for everybody. So let's work together, let's collaborate, and let's win. Thank you for tuning in.